Hey everybody, it's Carpo. What's up, dudes and dudettes? Yeah, I have a very strange sense of humor. I tend to be kind of serious in my videos, but you know, I laugh about just about everything. My day-to-day life, I find humor in the stupidest things. I can laugh at the most mundane joke, but it's got to be funny, you know. And you don't see a sense of humor in some people. They just can't laugh about stupid shit. Oh, that's too offensive, or oh no, you know, that's, you know, obviously if you're making an offensive joke, you know, that's offensive to someone for something they can't do anything about, like racism, racist jokes, I do not find humorous. But you know, then again, there's some ones that you know, maybe pertain to driving, Oriental's driving, you know, that might make me laugh. You know, I guess we all use stereotypes and things that are funny, but that's not the kind of humor I really enjoy. It's not. I like the humor that's not at the expense of people, but the humor that I guess is universal. And with that, I get to the point of my video here, which had nothing to do with humor, but was rather just kind of an icebreaker there, get me going. I was thinking about something kind of important today that I wanted to address, that I don't really know how to put it. I guess I'm seeing a lot of, I hear about a lot of division, you know, a lot of division among people, and I see a lot of division. I see a lot of arguing and people spatting at each other. I see a lot of YouTubers at war, and I've seen a lot of videos about YouTubers at war, and I've seen videos about people, and I've seen other people's response videos to other people, and meanwhile the real issues are not being discussed. There are places where issues are being discussed, but I just mean within our groups of people, there's been a division among a lot of sites that I visit, a lot of YouTube pages that I visit. And what it made me realize was that everyone's trying to convince someone else that they are right. And then another person will have to defend themselves because they know that they're not wrong. Or they know they're not wrong, but the other person is obviously so wrong that we need to prove them wrong. And I know because I do it. I've done it myself. You know, when you have someone tell you something that's so off the wall ridiculous, and you respond to it, you know, I find myself doing it. I have a secret desire to, and that's where I get the sense of humor thing. That's where it ties in. Is I think it's funny to mess with people, and I know that's wrong. I find it funny to mess with people if they deserve it. I don't mess with people in day-to-day life. I give everyone the utmost respect. But when a person is blatantly a failure at being a human, you know, I know it's in my best interest to improve them, but I still am battling with this youthful humor that I find it funny to, I guess, make people squirm, you know, and that's very rare for me. You know, I don't just pick at people out of the blue. Of course, you know I'm talking about Mac here. You know, he's one of the people that shouldn't even be, you know, spoken of, because it's such a waste of everyone's time. So with that, I want to say, not just Mac, all the people who are the button pushers out there, they're succeeding at whatever they're trying to do because they're dividing everyone and making a lot of useless comments. Look, we each have a certain amount of time each day to watch videos and to learn from each other, and each one of us has a channel. The people that do have channels that you know, talk back and forth, our group circles, they come and go. People come and go within the circles, and we want to keep those who are like-minded on track with the same progress as everyone else. But say a person comes to one of our channels and the first video they see is a response video to someone else, it kind of makes them, you know, maybe think, oh, well, this isn't, you know, I'm not getting anything here. Now, that's not offense. I'm not trying to offend Archaic here, because I understand his point. He's got some funny stuff. You got some very valid points about what you're talking about, but it's just not worth the time anymore. With what I want to see is this. If that sounds stupid, no, not what I want to see. It's not like I'm saying this is what I want. I'm saying that what would be a beautiful thing is if we could find a way to organize this thing, to get these people on YouTube organized in a fashion to where we have a circle where we're sharing and exchanging information. Hey, this is what I found out today. This is what I found out. But we can't have this idea, this idealist attitude that people are all going to think the way we think. And we know that they won't, and that's fine. I found a lot of respect on YouTube with people who disagree with me, but do it in a respectful manner. I think that's awesome. Because like I was saying earlier, when they put it in a way that's respectful and not arrogant, I listen. And those are the people who can maybe make me think twice about the way that I think. Now, I've never been too afraid to change what I think is true. That's just what life's about. It's being able to move with the times, shift your opinions based on the evidence presented, right? Archaic talked about moving truths in his video earlier, and that really resonated with me, because that's exactly what it is. We try so hard to pin down the truth. And I'm so sick of that word. It's become so passé. It's just it's not working anymore. The whole truther movement is over, because we know more about the truth about truth, which is that it is it very much is adjusting every day, and to each individual. I guess you could argue that there is one truth, a solid truth to everything, but I don't believe it. I really don't. I think that reality is malleable, and in a vibratory universe that is nothing but resonating frequencies and empty space, there really is no matter. Nothing exists. Therefore, everything is manifested according to whatever the layout may be. It's a matrix. We live in a basically a fabric, and fabric has us in it. And for some reason, we exist. And for some reason, we need to get along to make our society work. And for some reason, we can't seem to do it. So, I've heard a couple people make comments lately, like I'd said before, about how the humans have evil hearts, or humans are wicked. I can't even listen to that anymore. That's not how it is. Humans are not wicked. We just have ignorance that causes wicked behavior. But beneath that, there is a commonality between us all. And that commonality is the fact that, at least among those who are seeking, there is a common ground. And that common ground is that most of us want to know what we're supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, I know a lot of folks will agree with that, and some will disagree, but the ultimate truth, the ultimate goal is not to find out what happens after you die, or what happened in a previous life. You can see those of us who have looked into reincarnation, there are a lot of loose ends to tie up with the whole idea, but the basic premise is that you don't remember, because if you remembered your previous lives, then you'd never be able to get anything done in this one. And so, anyway, I'm not a reincarnation believer or disbeliever. I do believe in, that your force, your energy is reconstituted into some form. Don't know what that is. Don't understand how it works. Hope to one day. But what I'm saying is that it's not for us to know. It's not something that we're supposed to know, because we don't. And that's how I see the universe to an extent. The things that we know are the things that we can know. Science has brought us the ability to pick things apart and to find out that everything has a deeper meaning. And everything we say, we affect our environment. Every negative thing that you do affects even the cells in your body to the extent that you can kill yourself. And I think that the thing that hurts me the most inside is when people fight and bicker over things that can never be resolved, or don't see eye to eye and can't get past it. And You know, there's an experiment, it's pretty fascinating. There was a documentary called I Am, it's on Netflix. The guy, you know, almost died, and he had this experience where he wanted to know what life was about. And that's what I mean when I say that what we're supposed to be doing. What is our goal here? You know, you know, we don't want to waste time, right? You know, doing the wrong thing, living the wrong way. So that's why we seek, is to find out what we should be doing on a day-to-day basis to make ourselves better. And along the way, I learn a lot about history and how we got to where we are right now. But in that documentary, there was an experiment they did where you can hook up 2 electrodes to yogurt, okay? A bowl of yogurt sitting on the table in front of a guy. They hook up electrodes to the yogurt, hook it up to a voltmeter of some sort. They have the person start talking about his life, and when he comes across an emotional response, something that bothers him, like he mentioned his lawyer, and the thing shot up, the needle, what happens is the bacteria, what is it, the acidophilus culture, whatever it is, the bacteria respond to his emotions. And this has been done over and over and over. This is a repeated experiment. This is science showing that your thoughts in your kitchen affect your yogurt in your fridge. I mean, if that doesn't blow people's mind, then what does? Because what that does is that shows that not only are we affecting the yogurt, we're affecting the person next to us. We're affecting our pets, the insects. You know, we had an ant problem in my house, and I asked them kindly to just stay away. The ants are everywhere in my yard still. They're still crawling all over the outside of my house, but none of them inside. And I thought, did I really have an impact? I mean, there's still sugar on the counter, you know? I mean, I just don't understand how this worked, but I'm starting to find that there is a way to alter your environment. And this is what I mean about truth not necessarily being truth. Reality isn't always what we think it is. We're affecting our reality. So the thoughts that we have, if they can affect a yogurt culture when we have negative thoughts, and it was only the negative thoughts or the ones that stressed him out that really affected it, imagine what that's doing to our bodies. And I no longer think of my body, as me, I guess. And I tried to do that when I was younger, but it took years of practice and we still associate us with ourselves. But even looking at myself on the camera here, you know, I know that's not me. I know that's just a body, a meat sack. My spirit is completely separate from my body. And I truly believe that. And with that, I also realize that my entire body is made up of trillions of living organisms. These are building blocks, enzymes, proteins, you know, the cells and various membranes. Every organ is a living universe. It's its own creation. It is its own body, has its own essence. The heart has its own electrical field. The brain has its own electrical field. We can no longer think of ourselves as a body. We think of ourselves as millions of separate structures working together, living organisms working together to make it function. So why we can't translate that into a worldwide cellular organism, I don't understand. Why we still find the need to separate ourselves and be right. And so this brings me to my conclusion, which is, how do you avoid conflict in life? You can't avoid hardships. You can't avoid downtimes or depression. You can't avoid stress when you're gonna have it. You know, these things come and go. We can control the degree to which they affect us, but we can't control them from happening, stop them from happening. But we can choose how we want to view it and look at it. How do we keep ourselves from arguing with others? You know, I don't know. I'm working on that still in my life. But giving up your position is really the starting key. To be able to, when a person says something, to just say, okay, you're right. And when another person insults you, to be able to say, whatever, you know, whatever you say must be true. It doesn't matter. Because as soon as we let those things affect us, we've lost. And not lost to the other person, we've lost to ourselves. We've lost the ability to reason. We see that we are just faulty humans, you know. Everything I say today may be complete bullshit, but I feel it in my heart. Other people resonate with some of the things I say, and I resonate with the things they say. You know, you see what works in the world, you know. If I got a lot of negative responses for the things I do in my life, I would look twice at the way that I do things. It seems like a pretty simple way to live, you know. If people are negatively affected by the way you behave, then it's probably time to make a change. No matter how hard you think it may be the right way to be. If people don't like it and they tell you that it's wrong, you know, when people tell me that I'm doing something bad, I hate it because I know that it's something that they're right about. I usually have to work on it. Often someone will tell me something that's not true about myself, and those are the things that I can just let go because I know that it's obviously not true. But this is how we learn. It's by how our heart is affected by the things people say. Because it took me years to realize that if enough people tell me that something's wrong, then, you know, I have to, I guess, listen. But there are some things in my life that I know are right that I just haven't been able to, I guess, express to other people. I keep a lot to myself. I've made over 700 videos. I can't even believe it. I mean, just talking about random stuff. But, you know, the other day I looked up and I had 444 subscribers. So, you know, 444 is a very special number for me. And all of them are. All of them are. I love numbers. But I'm not the person who's out here telling you what everything means. That's not my goal here. I'm not here to translate the meaning behind archetypes. It's just to try to express a way that people can live, be happy, try to get along with one another. Stop being so petty and to find a common ground where we can all be happy and all associate. There's no utopian world. Nobody's going to be happy with everything. And this is where our law system has such faults. Everybody wants utter freedom. But if it imposes on someone else, it's not right. You have to find laws that work for everyone, but they're never going to work for every single person. You know, take for example the person who riles everyone up about how they're going to kick down the door. This is something I was thinking about the other day. Those people who have channels who say, oh, you know, pretty soon they're going to be kicking in everybody's door and taking you off to this place or that place. I found that most of those people are folks who are worried about their losing their arsenal, or you know, a person, the preppers who have an extremely, you know, who are hardcore about defending themselves to the point where they've convinced themselves that someone's going to try to take that away from them. And we get in these reality tunnels, and that's the way we think. So anyway, before I get off track too far, I guess that's just the whole idea that we don't have to prove that we're right all the time. We can let things go and just let a person think what they want to think. And especially if that person has no real bearing upon anything whatsoever. An honest person can never be cheated, and a truthful person can never be lied to, or can never tell a lie. But we all have to make our own decisions about what that means. And we have to take this and realize what it is. We can organize this now. We have the internet. It's come a long way in a very short time. We're juveniles in this world. But we have the ability to bring it all together. Everything. Every one of us. And I want to know what other folks think and how we can do this. How can we organize and structure either a segment of YouTube or a separate website or something where people could share ideas without trying to get cocky or egotistical about it, without saying, well, this is the way it is, and if you don't like it, fuck off. Because that's not working. It's never worked. It's just never worked. There's never been an absolute truth that everyone can adhere to. So we have to be flexible in that regard. I'm constantly changing my point of view as I learn new things. And that's all I ask, is that other folks try to do the same. Because we're never right 100% of the time. I sure as hell am not. I make so many mistakes, it's ridiculous, you know. I make a lot less than I used to. It's usually just stupid things I need to take care of in life, like, oh, I gotta pay this bill, or, I should really take more initiative to do more, or start a business, whatever it may be. It's usually not things where I'm affecting other people. It's my own life. But I think we all have that. And the one thing I've noticed the most is that people have been really projecting a lot. If someone says you're a loser, they're probably speaking of themselves. If people don't like the way that the world is, then it's probably reflecting of something in themselves, or someone in their life who's negatively programmed them. We have to break away from the program. And I'm not talking about society's program. We're so beyond that now, at least in my circle of people that we talk. We're so beyond being programmed by commercials and by big business. That's not the kind of programming I'm talking about. I'm talking about the self-programming. Because that's even more detrimental. Because when you're programmed by society or external forces, it's easy to realize you've been fooled and break away. But when you start programming yourself, it's a lot harder to say, I was a fool. It's easy to blame someone else as being a fool. But when you say, I was an idiot, it's very empowering, because then you can move on with it. You don't have to hold on to those old thoughts that you don't need anymore. You don't have to hold on to the negativity. And you sure as hell don't have to hold on to your ego, because there are two forms of ego in my mind. There's the ego, the false ego, and there's the real ego. You don't have to let your ego go. Ego loss doesn't mean that you've let who you are become, a robot. It means that you don't have to prove yourself anymore, and that you have an ego based on who you know you are, the truth about yourself. It can't be swayed, can't be broken. I cannot be brought down by words. A person can say anything they want to me, and it just does not it doesn't affect me. I've had the worst things said to me. I don't even know why people try anymore, because it's irrelevant. However, one person may say one thing that's kindly put, that's negative towards me, and it'll make me think about it all day, because that is something that I know is true. For example, when I made a response video to Mac a while back, and somebody's like, oh, you shouldn't have to sink to his level. Even though it was a pretty calm video and I wasn't harsh, I still knew that was true. You're right, I'm feeding into the fire. I can admit that. So I'm done with all that. I'm done with all the responding to any negativity whatsoever from the button pushers that have nothing to contribute. I'm going to listen and continue to listen to those who have a lot to say. And I appreciate all of the comments, all of the things I've learned from all of you. I appreciate all the subs who have really made me think and have really wise things to contribute. And this is giving me hope that this future of humanity, we can make something out of this. We don't have to look at this technology as the downfall. We can look at it as the pinnacle of success. This is the first time we've been able to communicate throughout the world instantly, ever, as far as we know in history. Besides maybe ancient history, where people could communicate, maybe telepathically, but that's not the same. Nobody can have messages with people they don't know. Now you can talk to a person face to face. You might be in Denmark or Australia, and I'm here in the U.S. And we can see that it's not about where you're born. It's not about who you are, what color you are, how tall you are, what color your hair is, or even how much money you have. It's about what's in your heart.